Hey bitches, what's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Homeless Blues New Orleans. Different channel. Lady asked me a question. What is your goal with your housing? I told her that my backstory is that I used to stay in a leasing arrangement, housing, and that the person that was renting from me, that I was renting from, I felt like they kept coming into my unit. I had a travel job, so I wasn't home a lot. I worked a lot. And I just kept seeing signs of not forced entry, keyed entry. And I had a breaking point of, I'm not going to handle this anymore. And I can't handle this anymore. And before I got to that point, what happened was, and I should have the tripod, I shouldn't have to hold this shit. What happened was, she came in one too many times. You know, I have food that I've cooked, and I'm not saying she was eating my food. I'm just saying I noticed signs that someone was in my unit, and I just put it on the lady I was renting from. For whatever the reason, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail. That's a story for another day. But I want to let you know that by the time I looked in my lease and seen I can't have a weapon, in case it wasn't her, it could be anybody, whatever, for whoever, in case she came in there at night, I cannot have a weapon according to my lease. Then the next thing I seen, to protect myself, no weapons. No weapon? What woman you know with a fucking vagina don't have a weapon where she sleeps at night, don't care if she sleeps on the fucking street? So when I found that was in my lease, so I'm just telling you, there was a list of factors that led up to me saying no mas, like Roberto Duran, no mas, I couldn't take no more. When I was traveling, they held my mail. I could just tell you the story in bits and pieces over time. So what I decided, the people in the office, I was telling them, I'm gonna put a booby trap for her that's gonna, fall on her head or something. She's gonna be found in there passed out. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna set her up. And then, I don't want to go into jail and get into trouble because, you think it's just gonna bop her, and then the next thing you know, she ain't conscious or something. So that whole line of thinking and planning was negative. You can hear me, right? So I said, wow, she got me in a negative loop. Let me just leave this motherfucker luxurious apartment I was paying all my money for out here fucking with these niggas and shit. Getting money, doing whatever the fuck I was doing to get that money so I could live the dream life of, it was just nice, okay? I got the nicest, and I didn't want it because of the lease. She can come in, or if we smell gas, we see water's spilling on the adjoining wall. They threw more bullshit at me about that fucking lease I signed without reading, that a dumbass nigga, felt bamboozled, led astray, like Malcolm X said, bamboozled and led astray. So I said, you know what? I got something for their fucking ass, these crackers. You know I call them crackers, right? When a white person fucks over me, immediate cracker. I give you that stamp. I told myself, them crackers will never get me again. I'll never get into a lease again. Fuck you. I'll never have my pussy unsafe because I can't have a weapon in the house. I can't fucking have a bat, bitch. I can't have nothing. I could bust a predator, somebody creeping up. Maintenance men have keys. Like I was growing up, that was my final best thing that I got for housing, thinking next thing was to ownership. No. I left that fucking situation and I went and bought me an RV. I became an RV girl, and I'm an RV girl to my last day. RV / tiny house, but on wheels. I hear a lot of talk about tiny houses, get some land. I don't believe that. I take it a step further. I want to always be nomadic, just like the native people, moving with the resources, moving. And I really want to audit my freedom to move and see how much trouble, especially as a black person, you have moving around this country and specifically around this city of New Orleans, Louisiana. How much trouble do I have just sitting right here where I am? How much trouble do I have stopping to catch my breath? How much trouble do I have trying to go get a cold drink from a place to end up trespassing me because they found out I'm a homeless nomad? I'm a nomad. But anyway, that's answering her question. What is my goal? So what happened with the RV? It was fabulous. Double deep for thawing. I could thaw it out a whole turkey on one side and kept on doing dishes on the other side. That for me was mind blowing, that I thought I had to get $1 million house to get a kitchen like that. Like I still dream about that and want that, and I'm going to have it. So here's the end of the story with the RV. them predators, and they still circling me to this day, and they circling you too, whether you know it or not, bitch. Yeah, they want that pussy. You got a pussy, you getting circled and followed. If you don't think so, I'm gonna say bye-bye to you, because you're gonna get God as a matter of time. You better get observant of your situation. Situational awareness, that's what they call it. To see who's watching you, who's looking, because they is. Got a pussy, you're getting watched. Anyway, and followed sometime too, not all the fucking time. But it's definitely a normal, it's definitely a regular and a normal thing to happen. Especially if you travel through different neighborhoods. Motherfuckers want to know new pussy, who that? So, and new jobs. I mean, you know, it's happened. That's a separate channel and a separate conversation about sexual harassment and all this other shit. Back to my point. Them motherfuckers on the road, when they see me rolling with this very nice RV, very small. It was a Tioga, very small, about 20 feet, maybe 22, very small. I'm rolling. I went to the repairman, and fast forward because that's another story, and we don't have a tissue box. Do you see tissue? You don't see no tissue for me to cry, right? Snot boo-boos? No. I'm not going to cry to you about how I lost the RV and how it was taken and stolen and bamboozled from me. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day and a whole nother YouTube channel. Miss Jasmine Homeless Blues is what this channel is right now. So maybe this is the channel for that. I don't know. But anyway, when I looked online trying to re-up the thing, I found out that I got a deal. That all the amenities that I had in that motherfucker, $10,000. Nope. Yeah. So that's what it was showing for dealerships and places like that. And I bought it from a owner, and he hooked a nigga up. Okay, I got blessed. Okay, so I couldn't get another one at the snap of my fingers for any amount of money that I could get my hands on. So that's what made me realize that I want to change my power and my empowerment to realize that I want my pinky to have a flash drive with my plans of exactly how I want my house designed and barcodes on every single screw and nail that I've put into it. So that if I turn my head and robbers hijack it, by the end of that next week, I'll have it all rebuilt again. And that's where I am in my journey. You are not going to talk to me about it's getting cold. I don't give a fuck about no cold. You got to understand a person's mindset. I'm an old dog. I'm an old bitch. I'm born in 1969. I'm old. I've been there and I've done that. I am of the retirement age coming forward, and I want to do what retirement people do. They sell everything, they downsize, and they get an RV, and they go see the world. So it's not a mindset of like, oh, you're nomadic. Yeah, I'm nomadic, but guess what? I'm of the age to be that way. Plenty of people work their whole fucking life like I did. They build up big houses, 4-bedroom houses with the kids, and then they sell that shit, all that shit. And they downsize. Plenty of people get RVs and travel. Same thing with the tiny fucking house. So that is the framework of my age. I'm in the age to do that. A lot of motherfuckers in my age group go to the senior citizen and never leave and rot and die there. I ain't that bitch. I'm the bitch that wants to be moving. And I'm going to figure out the correct and legal way to build without violating anything, and to move and to be housed on wheels, which is not permanent housing. It is nomadic, it is transient, it is drifting, it is all these things. And I'm gonna take YouTube with me. So there's my answer.